Hello everyone, this is Miss Julia here at the Collierville Birch Library bringing you another Crafternoon. Now as you may know, Mother's Day is coming up, so I thought it'd be fun to do a couple of Mother's Day crafts. We're actually going to be doing two today, so we're going to do one that's a card and one that will be a gift. So we're actually going to start off with the card, and it's going to look a little like this. It has a lovely bouquet of paper flowers that you can actually remove. It's very cute. So for this craft, you're going to be needing some green construction paper for the stems, and then a whole bunch of other construction paper. So you'll need some construction paper for the card itself, some for the pot that the flowers are going to be in, and then of course colored paper for the flowers themselves. In addition, you'll also need some glue, a pencil, a ruler, and some scissors. So we're going to start off with the flowers themselves. So as you can see here, the flowers are just a bunch of circles. So I have 3 circles. Each circle is a little smaller than the one before it. So you're going to take whatever paper you want your big circle to be. So let's say we want yellow, and you're going to draw out your big circle. Like so. And then you would cut that out. Of course, if you're going to be doing 3 flowers, you can actually do all 3 sizes on one piece of paper. So you can have the big circle, a medium circle, and then a small circle. So you can see on my flowers here, for instance, I have like a yellow small circle and a yellow medium circle. So you can do multiple circles, multiple different size circles on your pieces of paper. And you can do that for the rest of your paper too. And then you would just cut out your circles and do that however many times you need to create the bouquet that you want. Now I'm fortunate that I have a machine that can cut out circles for me. So I've done that ahead of time. That way you all don't have to sit and watch me cut out circles. So I'm going to take my colored paper that I meant for the flower colors and put that aside. So once you have all of your colored circles made and cut out, you can kind of arrange them how you want your flowers to look like. So you can see I'm alternating colors between all of them. So they'll look just like that. And of course you're going to glue them down. So I'm going to glue down one big circle or medium circle inside the big circle, and then a small circle inside the medium circle. And you'll do that for the other 2 flowers as well. There we go. So we have 3 beautiful flowers ready to go. Now if your circles aren't, perfectly circled, that's fine. If it has sort of that rough sort of edge to it, I actually find that rather charming. It was just for time's sake that I decided to use a die cut to cut out my circles rather than cut them out on camera. So when you have the circles done, you're going to need your green construction paper, and you're just going to cut out some strips to act as stems. Now if you want to be all perfect, you can measure them out if you'd like. I'm just going to cut. I'm going to cut a very long strip here, and then kind of decide how long I want the stem to be. So you can have some of your flowers have really long stems, you can have some of them have really short stems, whatever suits your fancy. So I'm going to do this a couple more times. So when you have your stems cut out, you can set aside your green paper. And then you're going to glue your stems to the back of your flowers. So we'll just put a smudge of glue down and press our stem on. Just like so. Now I am using cardstock for the stem. I find that cardstock is a little bit more firm and it holds up the flower a bit better. If you're using construction paper for your stem, I would suggest cutting out sort of a wide rectangle and folding the construction paper in on itself. So for instance, if this was my piece of construction paper, I'd kind of fold it in a couple of times just to make sure that the construction paper is firm enough to be able to hold the flowers. Otherwise, the construction paper might just, you know, sort of flop all over the place and it won't look as pretty. So I'm going to glue my other 2 stems on here really quick. So if you wanted to, you can actually bunch up your flowers together and staple them or glue them or tape them or something together so that they stay together in a nice lovely bouquet. I'm not going to do that for this example. So we're actually just going to set our flowers aside, and then you're going to take whatever piece of paper you want for your card. Now I've done a half sheet of paper. You can do a full sheet of paper if that is what you prefer. And you're just going to fold your card in half, just like so. And then we'll need to put the pot on. So I'm going to do a blue pot, and I'm going to measure out a square. I'm going to start out with a 4x4 square, so 4 inches by 4 inches. It's better if you start off with a bigger square. You can always cut it smaller if you need to, but we're actually going to be folding in some of the sides so that we can create a pocket that our flowers can sit in. So if you just give me one moment to measure and cut this out. That's the start of my pot. Of course, you don't have to do a perfect square for your pot. If you want to do like a long, tall vase, you can do that. Or maybe like a short, wide sort of window box looking pot. All that I ask, or all that I advise, is that you keep it a little bit bigger than what you intended to be. Because like I said, we're going to be folding this to create a pocket. So you can kind of compare it to how it is on your sheet of paper. Now you can see it's a little big on top, but that's okay because I'm going to fold the bottom in a little. Doesn't matter how much you fold it in, just as long as you have enough lip, move that aside, to be able to glue it down. So now if we can compare it, you can see looks a little better. If you want to, this might be a little too tall, but it's okay for now. So you could cut this top a little bit more if you wanted it shorter. So when you have your pot decided on width and height and whatnot, you're going to glue it down. So you're going to glue these lovely little flaps that we folded in. And glue it onto your paper. Make sure you press it down, and you'll have to wait for it to dry. But you see that this flap is open so that actually you can put in your lovely flower bouquet, and then you can write your own little message on it, and there you have it, your lovely Mother's Day card with a flower bouquet. All right, now that we have the card done, we're going to switch over to our gift. So let me clear the table here really quick. We don't need the glue or the ruler or the pencil. So for the gift craft, we are going to be doing salt dough. So it's a very classic sort of craft you can do at home. It only takes 3 ingredients. This one has yet to dry, so I'm being very delicate with it at the moment. I just made it this morning. So what you need for our salt dough is you will need a bowl to mix it in, a spoon or a craft stick or something to mix it with. And actually, I forgot an ingredient. 1 second. So the ingredient I was missing is actually salt, which is very silly considering it's called salt dough. So yes, you need the bowl, the mixer, the salt, some flour, some lukewarm water, and some measuring cups. Now, the ratio for this recipe is 2 to 1 to 1. So if you're to do like 2 cups of flour, you'd use 1 cup of salt and 1 cup of water. I don't need that much, so I'm going to be reducing it greatly. So I'm actually going to start off with a 1/4 cup for my flour. So you're just going to take your bowl and then measure out some flour into your cup and dump that into your bowl. And of course, since I've used a 1/4 cup of flour, I'll need to do the 2 to 1 ratio, so I only need 1/8 of a cup of salt. So pour that in. Whoop. And then you can take your mixer and mix the flour and the salt together before we add our water. Just like so. And then I have my water already measured out. It's 1/8 of a cup to go along with the 1/8 cup of salt and the 1/4 cup of flour. We're gonna mix this up here until it's all well mixed together. Now, if you find your salt dough is a little too goopy, you can add a bit more flour. Do it in very small increments though, because a little will go a long way. If you find your dough is a little too dry, you can of course add a bit more water. Again, use small increments if you were to do that. You can see I have a lovely dough mixed together. And then start using my hands now. Might still be a little bit sticky. There we go, a nice mix. Now I would advise sort of lightly flouring your surface before you're working on this, because it can still be a little bit sticky. And we don't want our finished product sticking onto the table. So I'm just going to do a light flour, pat that around, and then you can do whatever you want with your salt dough. So you can see I made a little medallion with a heart in it, so I'll do that one again. I don't need too much of the salt dough, so just a little ball, and you can roll around until it's nice and round. And kind of press it down a little bit, and then you'll use your fingertip and you'll lightly press either side to make that lovely heart shape. When you have your gift the way that you want it to be, actually let me show you too how to make that lovely hole I have. So if you want to make this an ornament, you'll take a straw or something similar and you can just poke a hole in the top, just like so. I'm going to press my heart a little bit more. When you have your shape done that you'd like, you will just set it aside and let it dry. I've also seen that you can bake this to dry it out. I've seen doing it at 200 degrees. I've seen it doing it at 250 degrees. I would, I suppose, advise to start off lower and keep a good watch on your gift, because if you leave it on in the oven for too long, it will of course start burning. So I'm going to actually just let mine air dry, and after it's done drying, you can actually go back and decorate it however you want. So like this one, I filled in the heart with some glitter glue, so it has that lovely red glittery look to it. It looks very pretty. Or you, if you want to, you can just leave it alone and have it just plain like this. So it's a lovely little keepsake you can give to your moms on Mother's Day. So other than that, I believe that is it. We have the card and we have the gift. So I hope you all enjoyed the Crafternoon for today, and I hope you all will join me next week for the next craft. Other than that, I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!